Yo, it's Mike Mead and Hammah on the mic. Old school sports Boston, we keep it real tight. Celtics, Sox, Bruins, Pats, we talk that fire. Boston's rawest voice and taking you higher.
Okay, welcome back everybody to Old School Sports with Mike and the Hammah. We're going to get right to it. Man, it's A.J. Brown Day. We're going to talk a lot about him. And there was another big trade in the NFL and still another retirement. We'll talk a little bit about the Sox, the NBA Finals, the NHL Finals, and if we have time permitting, a little bit of bugging Hammah and maybe a little bit of Mike's Minute. Hammah, without further ado, A.J. Brown, there's a lot of concerns about him. What's your major concern about acquiring him?
Well, you got to take a shot sooner or later. They haven't had a quality number one wide receiver since Randy Moss in 2007. So I mean, you know, what the heck? I mean, it cost him a first, which is in 2028, which isn't bad, because you pushed it off a year. So you got this player for a year. You don't have to give anything up for him. Next year, you're giving a fifth round pick. So to me, it's worth a shot because you know what? You can't draft. The Patriots suck at drafting, especially first round picks. You ever hear of N'Keal Harry? Did you ever hear of Cole Strange? You know, so what the hell? Give the draft pick away for a player you know is elite.
This concerns it. What about his? Okay, so he's 28 right now. He's turning 29 he'll turn 29 right when the season starts. Okay, there's questions about his knee. There's questions about his attitude. What say you?
I don't think his attitude will be a problem because he was with Mike Vrabel when he was in Tennessee, and those guys were tight. So he's got him back. I'm going to get rid of this football. It's kind of distracting.
It is distracting. Yeah, get that out of here.
So the thing is, Mike Vrabel knows the player he's getting. And another thing that we found out too is A.J. Brown in 2019 thought the Patriots were going to draft him, and he was all fired up because he was a lifelong Patriots fan, giant Tom Brady fan, and he was crushed when they didn't pick him. So, you know, he came into town today, which is Tuesday. He is jacked up, man. I'm telling you. He knew this trade was going to happen. He's been working out like a fiend. So, yeah, I mean, they're saying he has some knee issues and stuff, and he has missed some games. He's had some knee drainage and stuff. But his attitude's going to be great, not like it was the last couple of years in Philadelphia.
And he'll be a happy camper with, they say him and Vrabel. He played for Vrabel for 3 years, and they had a great relationship. And I don't think Vrabel was behind the trade. I'm not sure if Vrabel might have been gone by then.
No, Vrabel was there, and he was pissed.
He was pissed about it.
But the thing was, you know, he wanted to extend his contract, A.J. Brown. Yeah. Their medical staff in Tennessee said he's got a degenerative knee. So it's kind of like we don't want to give him another a 4-year contract that he wants. So instead, they traded him Philadelphia. Philadelphia gave him the 4-year contract, and all he did for Philadelphia was 88 catches in 2022 for 1,496 yards, 11 touchdowns. In 2023, 106 catches for 1,456 and 7 touchdowns. In 2024, 67 catches for 1,079 yards, 7 touchdowns. And in 2025, 78 catches for over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. So if I'm in Tennessee, I am firing my doctor because he played great for 4 years, and you didn't want to sign him to that deal.
But he wasn't happy. We all know why he wasn't. He wasn't getting along with the quarterback there, and he wasn't getting the ball. It was all tush, push, tush, push. Yeah. And he was that's why he was doing reading the book on the sideline. And, you know, he said it was actually more of a meditative type of deal. But, you know, he had an attitude, and he was no longer getting the ball. And I don't have a problem. You tell me if you do. I don't have a problem like a Randy Moss or A.J. Brown type that's not happy when they're not getting the ball, right?
I agree. And I mean, look like Saquon Barkley left. You know, also. I mean, he's on Philly now.
Yeah.
But he's a little pissed too because he's getting all his touchdowns stolen by the quarterback too. Hurts him. The tush push. Every time they get to the 1 or 2 yard line, he runs it in. You know, and
Tom, you can't argue with the play though.
It works, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you're the guy carrying the rock all the way down the
Reward
field,
him.
You get tackled on the 1 or 2 yard line. Right.
Right.
I mean, I can understand. All right, it's third down. The tush push works every time.
Yeah.
Do it, but not on first or second down.
Right.
Because this, you know, so I think a lot of people have left Philadelphia disgruntled. Plus, nobody likes the quarterback.
No, Hurts, yeah.
Hurts. He's got the biggest ego going. And the funny thing is, A.J. Brown got married a couple weeks ago, and he didn't invite Hurts to the wedding.
That's crazy.
And the weird thing is, when they first started out, they were tight. A.J. Brown, when he got traded there, and Hurts is the godfather of one of his kids.
You're right. I was just going to say that, yeah.
And then
he didn't get
3
invited to
years
the wedding?
later, right, and 3 years later, they don't get along.
Oh, my God.
So
yeah.
a lot can change in 3-4 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So
the tush push is a problem, and if they were talking about, I don't know how it's going to come, if it's going to come to fruition or not, but they were trying to outlaw it. How's that going?
Yeah, it got voted down last year.
Yeah.
But some teams had better success stopping it this year.
Yeah.
Because Kelsey was the center and he retired.
Yep.
And then the new guy, I guess, isn't as stupid because, like Kelsey said, he hated snapping the ball and diving in there knowing he was going to get crushed.
Must be feeling like a mountain's coming down on you.
Oh,
right?
my God. Yeah, you get 15,000 pounds of humanity on top of your head.
I read somewhere, okay, so he's coming to New England. May was the top-rated passer percentage-wise last year, like 72-point-something%.
Yeah.
And what's his name? The guy from Philadelphia, it was 19th.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts was 19th.
He's not accurate at all.
So he's going to be talking about wanting to come here.
Oh, yeah.
He said he's been working out and he's excited about it. If I'm him and I have Drake May throwing the ball to me,
yeah.
I want to be here because he's going to get the ball.
What a difference the last few years have made, okay? You get Drake May, and now you have A.J. Brown, Romeo Dobbs, who's like a 1A. Booty, we'll talk about him in a minute. He might be gone. Pop Douglas might be gone. Mac Hollins, Kyle Williams in his second year, he should get a second-year leap, you would think.
He can fly.
Efron Chisholm.
That's my boy. That's my boy right there.
A.J. Brown, you're going to have to double cover him, which means Romeo Dobbs is single covered. So is Holland, this offense, especially with you got Henderson and Stevenson at running back.
Sure.
This is the best offense on paper the Patriots have had in 15 years.
Yeah, since the old Randy Moss days, right? And
Yeah.
they had Welker on that team, too.
They did. Because, Tom Brady did everything with bubble gum and duct tape.
Oh, yeah.
There really wasn't. This is the most talented receiving crew they've had in a long time.
Renee Caldwell, can you remember that?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
But he still made him into a serviceable receiver.
He did, but you even had Troy Brown as a receiver at one point because, Belichick would never spend any money on wide receivers.
No.
Now, here's the thing. This contract really isn't so bad for A.J. Brown, okay? $27 million this year, $19.4 next year, and then $29 and then $28. But the best thing is, because, Kraft is always saying, oh, I don't care. I just want to stay under the cap, this and that. I don't care about real money. Well, that's real money he has to pay. Because with this trade, next year it's $4 million on the cap, and then 28 and 29, he doesn't cost a penny on the cap.
Wow.
So the thing is, if Kraft's got to, he's got to put his money where his mouth is. If he wants to win, because he's not getting any younger, and this should help him do it.
Yeah, this is the window. We talk about the Celtics all the time in their window, right?
Yes.
So he's got a window now, and I mean, with football players, it's a little less with receivers. So a 3 to 5 year, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think the most thing I'm excited about, Mike, show that graphic about Josh McDaniels. My gosh, when his first year with elite wide receivers, like Devontae Adams, and then Randy Moss, and then Welker, those guys, like when they did a focus of the Josh McDaniels offense, they do incredible.
Because he makes sure they get the ball.
Yes.
Yeah. There'll be no tush push going on here.
Yeah, Devontae Adams, when he was with the Raiders, when Josh McDaniels was there, he had like 180 targets.
Yeah.
He had over 100 catches, 180 targets, and like 1,700 yards. So, I mean, I'm thinking that, A.J., he might have lost a step or so, but like you said, as accurate as Drake May is with the football,
he's going to get the ball.
I'm thinking he's going to probably get 1,200, 14, maybe 1,500 yards, probably like 8 to 10 touchdowns.
Need I say it? He might have his best year yet, ever.
He could.
With Drake May.
Yeah,
right?
he could.
Yeah.
Because even in Tennessee, he didn't have much of a quarterback throwing the ball either.
Right.
So there you go. But, back to the wide receiver room. You got too many guys now. You get 7 guys. So they're talking, Keyshawn Booty's not in camp. because he probably figures he's the odd man out.
Probably is.
Pop Douglas is, he's never done anything.
Well, Pop Douglas and Chisholm are interchangeable in my point of view. You know,
Yeah.
they're about the same. You know, so you might want to keep Chisholm and work on him. He's a work in progress, and he's cheaper. A lot.
Right, because Douglas has been in the league, 4 or 5 years. I would
Right.
definitely go with Chisholm there. Don't forget, tight end Hunter Henry. If he stays healthy, he's still a pretty good tight end.
They lost the other tight end with an injury, right?
Yeah. And they drafted Lomu for the offensive line. They signed a guy from the Jets for the offensive line. They put everything into this offense. This could be an elite offense. I really think it's going to be. And you know what? Why it is? Because they got squashed in the Super Bowl because they couldn't complete a pass and they couldn't run the ball. Now, when they play Seattle the first game this year, it's a totally different team.
Especially for Mike Vrabel, because there's going to be signs galore in Seattle about Vrabel and dumping on him. So
those are the nicest people in the world, those people in Seattle, Mike.
Every city
what I mean?
has their dissidents, right? So he's basically, Mike Vrabel's going to benefit because nobody's talking about his situation right now.
True.
It's all A.J. Brown and it's all go, go, go. So Vrabel's loving this.
Yeah. The only thing everything is so positive right now, the only thing that can throw a monkey wrench into is Gonzalez. Because, here's a guy that wants a contract. Right. And they don't have to renew his contract yet. But here's the thing. You just signed A.J. Brown for this money.
Yeah.
You're going to sign Drake May coming up soon for like $50 million a year.
He's going to break it next year.
My thing is, I don't know if he's going to be here. I don't know if they can sign him also because you got Milton Williams, $26 million. You get Brown at like $27 million. You're going to have the quarterback at $50. How are you going to pay Gonzalez $30 to $35 million?
Well, if that's the case, trade him now. Don't dick around with it. And let's pull the Band-Aid right now instead of fooling around. And at the end, he'll be holding out and the whole thing.
Right.
You know.
You could do. You could trade Gonzalez and get your number 1 pick back.
Well, there's been
you know what I'm saying?
There's been talk about that too.
Yeah. Really.
But I would hate. But he's such a unique talent. You got to find.
Yeah.
You got to find a way. You got to find a way to do it.
You do, but I just don't know how many guys you can pay that kind of money. I mean, I know Philadelphia does because they do a lot of cash payments and stuff like that. But like I said last week, the Patriots are like 25th in payroll, real money that they spend.
Real money, sure.
And Philadelphia's number 1. So the Patriots, Kraft right now, maybe he's going senile and he's just writing checks because this is not the way he would have done business in the past.
How old's Kraft? Like about 84 or so?
Something like that.
Okay, so now he's probably settling in. I got, you talk about windows. He's talking about his window, what he has left.
Yeah.
What good is it? How many steaks can you eat, right? He's got so much money. Do it.
That's true, but you look at someone like the Dallas guy, you know what I'm saying, Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones.
He's got oil wells and this and that, and he's the cheapest guy going.
He also has.
They haven't won since like 1997.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, right in that range. And he doesn't seem any urgency to win.
Well, I think Kraft wants to win more than Jerry Jones does. How's that?
I think so because Kraft wants to get in the Hall of Fame. Jerry Jones is already in.
How is he not in? If
well,
Jerry
I think
Jones
you've had Spygate, you've had Deflategate, you've had Orchids of Asia, you've had a guy on your team that was murdering everybody. You've had some big scandals with the Patriots.
Yeah, but
under his watch.
Airing a football, is that really a scandal?
No, that was ridiculous.
The Spygate, yeah, but that was all because you can film on a field, but they were filming in the wrong end or something.
Right.
And all teams, they say do it. It's nothing. There was nothing really egregious except, of course, the murdering of Hernandez and everything. But what did he have to really do with that? The only thing he's really guilty of is happy ending at the massage parlor.
And the Patriots ended up winning, then he flew to Kansas City and the Patriots won the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
So he had the greatest day of all time.
But he also has 6 championships. How can you deny that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last thing I got basically on that is when Tennessee traded A.J. to Philadelphia, they got a first and a third. Now everybody's, trashing the Patriots or giving too much up because the Patriots 4 years later, the players 4 years older gave a first and a fifth.
Right.
But the thing is, it's a first 2 years down the line. So to me, that's not really a first. You know what I mean? That has to be considered less of a chip because they got rid of A.J. Brown, but they got nothing in return this year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So Philadelphia is waiting for the asset So I don't think it's really considered a first. I think it's more like a second because it's going to be so far down the line.
I think Philly had to do this because Brown was not going to really play for them. I mean, he might have been on the team, but he would have been doing a lot of reading on the sideline.
True.
You know what I mean? So they kind of had to do it. And in a first and a fifth, hey, I'm all in on that. So what?
Yeah, because the Patriots draft like crap usually.
And they get in at 28 first, not at 27, because supposedly 27 is supposed to be a stacked year.
Yes.
So at least they did the right thing there, and they do get a fifth next year. And it's the highest pick, I think.
Right. They have 2 fifth-round picks.
Yeah.
Philly gets the better of the 2.
She gets the better of the two. But so what?
So what? Who cares?
You got to. Hey, look, you want value, you got to give value.
That's right.
Right?
That's exactly right. So, all right, let's jump quickly because we went for a while on that.
Yeah.
The Rams, oh my gosh, did they pull? You know, the Patriots get A.J. Brown, which would be like a blockbuster move. Not when the Rams, they got Myles Garrett from Cleveland. A shocking move. And the Rams get a 2027 first-round pick, a 2028 second-round pick, a 2029 third-round pick, and they got Jared Verse, who's a great player in his own right.
You mean the Browns? Yeah.
The Browns got him,
Yeah.
So, yeah, Myles Garrett's great. Best defensive player out there and stuff. But you know what? I mean, they gave up a really good player, and they gave all those draft picks up.
Yeah.
So, but Cleveland will screw it up because that's what Cleveland does.
But let them. That's all.
Yeah, but the Rams are stacked now.
are.
You know, they got the MVP at quarterback. They got Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. They got an unbelievable receiving. Defensively, now they put Myles Garrett out there,
And the rumor,
Donald coming back.
who was the best defensive lineman a couple years ago, and he retired, I think, at 29.
Yes.
Something like that.
So Aaron Donald, if he comes back on one side, and you got Garrett on the other side, it's, what did he just say? There was Jacoby Brissett said, you can't pay me enough to play against this team.
Well, you're talking about,
because he's the quarterback, and he doesn't want to get killed in Arizona.
And you're talking about paying people. What are they paying all them? How's that work?
Yeah, the Rams, I don't know how they do it. It shows how the teams. How do they do it? The Dodgers spend $500 million. The Rams have all this
Dodgers
talent.
defer all their money.
Yeah, but I don't know how the Rams do it, but geez. But that's the team right now. They're monster Super Bowl favorites now.
Right. They still got to play the game.
They still got to play the game, and injuries do happen, and Stafford isn't getting any younger.
That's right.
But wow, they're going to be tough.
They're stacked, yeah. Now, okay, so what about Russell Wilson? He retired. Give me your thoughts on his career.
I think the Patriots ruined his career.
The Seattle Super Bowl.
Yes, because Russell Wilson won the Super Bowl with Seattle. The next year, they're like 1 yard away from winning their second consecutive Super Bowl, and then Malcolm Butler picks it off, and then that destroyed that whole team.
Beast
the
mode.
Legion of Doom's dead.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll is now a butt of a joke.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson's wife wants now, she wants to be famous, so they have to go to New York or Denver or wherever because, she's too big for Seattle.
And now he's going to be in the booth somewhere.
Now he's going to be in CBS.
Yeah. But he had a great career. I'm sure you have all the stats.
Yeah, 10-time All-Pro, won the one Super Bowl. And the best thing ever was he beat Denver and Peyton Manning 43 to 8. That was one of my favorite Super Bowls because I was not a Manning fan.
No.
But think about it. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. 353 touchdown passes, 114 interceptions, 46,966 yards. He had a great career. And then towards the end, he really fizzled out.
Yeah.
Kind of like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Both of them kind of just, they definitely went downhill,
Yeah.
And Sean Payton had a lot to do with, I think, Wilson's career going down.
Right.
Because he just kind of just shit all over him. I mean,
he did. He treated him like a dog.
He did, and this guy, he was a bona fide star. I mean, I know he wasn't performing up to his regular standards, but you don't treat a guy like that.
You got to have some respect in the league.
Yeah, my God.
The more you hear about him, the Denver coach is an idiot.
Yeah.
He really is, Peyton.
Well, some of these guys, it's all about them. It's like Belichick. It's all about them.
Well, the successful coaches are jerks.
Yeah, Parcells. They're all from the Parcells tree.
Yeah, Hammah.
Right? Yeah.
And now that he's with the Giants. But speaking of the Giants, what are they doing? They just signed Odell Beckham Jr. to bring him back to the Giants.
Right.
Smith-Schuster, who hasn't been any good in 5 years, and Braxton Berrios, who played for the Jets and has always sucked. Yeah. So I don't know what they're doing in New York at all.
No, they don't know either.
Yeah. And then they got the controversy, too. I don't know if you want to talk about that. Probably not. Where Jackson Dart introduce,
Oh, right.
Trump at a rally,
Oh, my
and then
God.
all his teammates, Abdul Kader and a bunch of guys were turning on the quarterback.
Yeah.
And my thing is, since when is there no freedom of speech? You can't just, it's not like he campaigned for him. It's not like he voted for him. And whether you like him or hate him, it's still, think about it. You just put anyone as far as the president, and you can announce the president. I mean, how, you know what I mean? That's a pretty good feather in your cap. It's just that this guy's such a lightning rod that people just take their sides.
You just answered your own question.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, there was just a harmless thing, and then he's taking so much heat in New York for that. And The View and all these other shows are all over him. The guy just wants to play football. Leave him alone.
I know. Well, he should shut his mouth, though, because he knows by saying something, it's going to be a huge. Anything you say, Trump is a lightning rod. So you want to bring him up? I mean, you got to face the music.
True.
Right?
Very good.
We done with football?
The only other thing, Mike's going to do a little segment now because Hammah and Mike.
Okay.
He wants to talk about A.J. Brown. He wants to talk about that unbelievable Rams team and a few other topics. So Mike, take it away.
Hey, old school sports fans, what's going on? It's your favorite cameraman Mike, and yes, we're in the cameraman's corner today. We hopefully will have a different background for it coming up. But for starters, let's talk about that A.J. Brown trade. Let's talk about the package first off. A first and a fifth, I don't think we should even care about that fifth. I think Mike Vrabel has shown well enough that he can get those late round draft picks. And we do have a guy like Kayshon Boutte or Pop Douglas, like Mike and Tom were both talking about. One of them is surely going to be on the move. And they played their rookie contracts, didn't get extended, and we took him in the 6th round. If we could turn a 6th round pick from 2023 into a 5th round pick in 2028, that seems like a victory to me. Tom is absolutely right, though. You absolutely needed to take this swing. A 2028 first is the perfect price in my eyes. I think it's a sign from God that we didn't give up a 2027 first, because it would have been a Howie Roseman fleece job like we've seen before. But there's so many exciting things about A.J. Brown, and it's not just that he's reunited with his head coach. He fits perfectly in this offense. Who was Drake May's favorite target this past year? I mean, it was Diggs. But when it came to those big throws, he was in love with that big body, Mac Hollins. A.J. Brown is huge like Mac Hollins, and it feeds off of it. They signed Romeo Doubs, and they have Hunter Henry, who has been Drake May's security blanket. Those two are going to be getting open underneath constantly. Not even factoring in Kyle Williams' deep ball, that's going to stretch the field even more. I think what I'm most excited about is our offense inside the 5 now. Because, man, did they load up on that offensive line. And now we get to really see what Ramondre Stevenson can do with not a loaded box. Like they're gonna have to respect A.J. Brown out wide and Romeo Doubs, and it's just gonna feel so awesome and so amazing to watch an offense that's so perfectly balanced. I heard Dan Orlovsky recently just say that he believes this is gonna be a top 5 offense in football. I can't even disagree. They have everything that you could want and more right now. The play caller, the quarterback, the options, the run game. It looks beautiful on paper right now. Tom's right. Nobody could get hurt, though. That's the only thing throwing in the wrench. Now, what I'm really excited to talk about is this Myles Garrett trade. Wow, that was groundbreaking. I don't think it was as out of nowhere as people discussed, because once that contract extension did get, negotiated and they restructured it. Thank you, that was the word. They restructured it. There was smoke a lot on Twitter. I saw the Rams, I saw Baltimore, but no. The Rams only giving up Jared Verse and a future first. I think it's pretty insane that the current Defensive Player of the Year went for less first-round picks than Sauce Gardner. Yeah, think about that. But poor Jared Verse, man, going from L.A. and now he's from Cleveland, but going back to Cleveland ain't going to be fun. There's no future there. But it is fascinating to see how the Rams operate their offense. They don't keep their first-round picks. They've traded Jared Goff. They've traded away all their future first. Jared Verse, they traded away. I just saw a report, actually, from Jeremy Fowler. They're not even thinking about extending Puka Nacua right now. I know he's in rehab and he's been fighting that, but to do that is insane. The Rams are also the first team ever to have the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year on the same team, and that's not even factoring in the leader in touchdown receptions in Devontae Adams and actual receptions in Puka Nacua, and we know what he can do. everyone's like, oh, the Rams added Myles Garrett. The Rams added Trent McDuffie, too, an all-pro cornerback. They are loaded. They could have went 20-0 if they didn't take Ty Simpson. And I think that's their only mistake on the offseason right now is they went Ty Simpson over Reuben Bain. And could you imagine that Rams defense with Reuben Bain, the kid from Miami, the edge rusher? It would have been spectacular to watch. It truly would have been the greatest show on turf. But lastly, let's talk about the biggest point. Aaron Donald, the greatest defensive lineman of my generation, and maybe the greatest defensive lineman to ever play football, is thinking about coming out of retirement. And if that happens, I think Tom is right. You can't pay me enough to be a quarterback in that division. I'd be terrified, you know? I cannot wait for football to start. These trades were otherworldly, and I'm just so excited for the season, and I'm more excited to talk about fantasy with you guys this year. See you soon.
All right.
Let's quickly go to the Red Sox.
All right, go. What do you got?
Nah,
Nothing.
They got to go. They got to win like I figured it out. They got to win like 63, 64% of their remaining games. They got 104 games left. They got to win like 63% to reach the 90 win mark, which I think they really need to get to be in the playoffs and whatnot.
I will make the contention. Is that the right way of saying it?
That's fine.
That by the end of June, it's going to be 98% of wins because they have to play the Orioles, the Yankees, the Rays, the Rangers, the Blue Jays, and the Mariners this month, and the Yankees again. Yeah. They're going to get killed. They're 25-33, 9-19 at home, 16-14 on the road. Okay, but here's the thing. Last week you talked about John Henry and the big protests they had with his soccer team.
Yes.
Liverpool.
Yes.
And he's starting to listen. Remember we were saying there's no way that they would have a protest in Boston?
Right.
But here's what, you're hearing some cracks right now.
Okay.
David Ortiz came out and said, John Henry is not happy with the direction of the team.
Right.
And then Theo Epstein, did you see that in the paper today? Oh! He said Theo, and who works for the organization as a consultant, said, I am very disappointed about the intense analytics, direction of this baseball team under Craig Breslow. Yeah. So basically that's what the Red Sox do. They're going to fire Terry Francona. They said he's popping pills. They're going to get rid of John McNamara. They say he's drinking too much. The Red Sox, before they make any moves, always throw crap against the wall. So that tells me Breslow is out of here.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Before they execute him, they torture him first.
Yes.
Right?
You can just shoot him, bring him out back, and fire him, but right. No. Yeah. We're going to stick some needles under his fingernails first.
Yeah, yeah. Breslow's gone,
Yeah.
And Theo's he's a consultant for the team, right? But he's really been kind of behind the scenes. Now he's come to the forefront.
Now he's in the forefront.
I wouldn't be surprised. Would you be shocked if he took over as general manager?
Well, here's the thing. They could say, John Henry could go to Theo and say, listen, straighten this team out. Just give him a year or two of your time. Theo Epstein is probably the best general manager in the history of baseball.
He might be.
He broke an 86-year curse with the Red Sox and won a World Series. Yeah. Then he went to the Cubs. They hadn't won in 100 years, and he won a World Series there.
Right.
So it's kind of like, this guy's magic.
There's rumors out there that he might be the next commish of baseball.
Oh. Well,
and that's what he's aiming for.
Probably.
But why not take a little side tour and take over Breslow's
straighten this baseball team out. They're a disaster.
Yeah. Breslow's on the hot seat, and he should have been,
So. Right. But another thing, too, about Breslow, they're saying is that he doesn't listen to anybody. And there's rumors in the organization, they're like, we thought this guy was a former baseball player. We thought he had his head on straight, but he's so into the books. He doesn't even look. He just reads numbers. He doesn't care what it looks like. We always do the eyeball test.
Sure.
He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
He looks at a piece of paper and it says, geez, he bats, 425 against left-handed hitters who have a sore elbow.
But I read in the paper, he denies that, though. He says there is room for the eyeball test and everything. It can't be all analytics, but we know he's 90% analytics.
Yeah.
And he's quote, the smartest guy in the room or something.
Yeah.
He went to Yale. And
that's why. These Harvard guys, Yale. Yeah. Well, Harvard not so bad. Yale people are bad. Because, my son went to Quinnipiac, and Yale was their rival. Oh. And he's like, oh, my God, the people down there, they're so stuck up.
Well, that's Breslow, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's made a lot. I mean, we don't even have time to talk about all the player problems he has.
No.
I'll just sum up my part by saying I like the pitching. I like where it's going, but the hitting is just abysmal. And please, Roman Anthony, find a way to get back on the field.
Well, that's a big thing too. Roman Anthony came out and said it's not a sprained finger; it's like a slightly torn ligament. So he's not, the team's coming out and saying, well, it's a pain issue if he can play through it. And then Rowan Anthony, the player, said, no, it's a torn ligament. You know, because they're making him look like he doesn't want to play.
Then they came out and said, but technically a sprain is a torn ligament inside the sprain. I never heard that before.
I haven't either. Look at your finger.
Look at me.
He just busted his finger up again playing basketball.
Just another.
Now, are you going to play this week?
I'm out.
I'm Craig Breslow. I'm saying you should play.
I'm out.
All right, Anthony. That's all I got. Let's jump to the NBA.
All right, the playoffs. What do you think?
Finally, we're at the finals.
Okay.
San Antonio with the upset over OKC in Game 7 is playing the Knicks. So the game starts Wednesday night. San Antonio's big favorites, 190. If you put 100 down. They're big, almost 2-1 favorites.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I can see that. You look at it on paper, especially with Wembanyama. Yeah. Wembanyama, he's just going to be the face of the league for the next 15 years if he plays that long. But, there's something about the Knicks. I know they played in the East, and it was an easier ride, and we talked about that last week. But they destroyed people. And I want to go to what James Harden, I read an article in the Globe on Sunday. They were talking about how come his team didn't match up against New York. And he said, it's real simple. He says, New York has played now for a few years together, more than a few years together. And he goes, that's everything. He said, us, Cleveland team, we're up and coming. And I don't think he's up and coming, but he's saying we're up and coming. He said, but we haven't been a unit that long like New York. And I think there's some validity to that. When you play for a while, you know yourself, you played on different teams and different sports. When you have that continuity, right, it goes
Well, you know where someone's going to be. They're thinking, and telepathically, they know what you're going to do and you know what they're going to do.
Exactly. So the Knicks have that more than the Spurs.
Yeah.
The Spurs have more talent. You look at them on paper, it's like, wow, it screams. But I'm not going to discount the Knicks. I think it's going to be a good series. I think San Antonio should pull it out, but I'm not discounting the Knicks making it a 6 or 7 game series.
I agree with that because the Knicks got some bigs that can, do some fouling on Wemby and stuff like that.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, make it a little hard on them. But here's the thing, though. Usually when a team like San Antonio makes it to the championship and they haven't been there in forever, you're like, they got to lose before they can win. But in this situation, the Knicks haven't won since 1973, and San Antonio hasn't won since 2014. So to me, it's like two young teams, or that have never really been there. Somebody has to win. Yeah, so that gets thrown out the window as far as you got to lose before you can win.
Well, I think it's a big difference here because it's only been 12 years for San Antonio. It's been like 53 years, 50-something years for the Knicks, right?
Yeah.
I remember it well, 1973. Havlicek, he hurt his shoulder.
Yeah.
He missed one game, and he had to play with just one arm for the last 3. They had their best years that year. They won 62 games. Cowens won the MVP, and they lose to the Knicks 7th game in Boston. Wow. It was a killer. It was a killer.
I don't remember it. I was too young.
You were too young. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good series. Speaking of Trump, I think he's going to make an appearance. He can't stay out of the way. He's going to come to probably the 4th game.
Okay.
I hope he brings security.
Yeah. There you go.
All right.
Enough
of that, right?
Let's go to the NHL real quick.
Go ahead.
The finals are set. Carolina's. We talked about it last week. They just had Montreal's number as that series went on.
Yeah.
They squashed them 6-1 in Game 5 for a gentleman's sweep. So it's Carolina, who's 12-1 in the playoffs, against Vegas, who's 12-4. Carolina last won the title in 2005-2006 season.
Okay.
They used to be the old Hartford Whalers, but they were Carolina when they won it.
Right.
And in 2017, Vegas became a team in 2017 and won in 2022.
Right.
So, but there you go. I'm just thinking.
Is Carolina favored?
Carolina's a good favorite, 175, so almost 3/4 favorite. You know what I mean? So they're supposed to win the series. Thing is, it's not going to be that exciting of a series. It's going to be a defensive kind of series, 3-2, 2-1, 2-0. So I don't think it's going to be that exciting, but I do think Carolina's going to win it.
Okay.
So
I have no opinion except to say that I think Vegas might, because they're on a high. They just found themselves floundering, and all of a sudden they fire Cassidy, and they bring in this other guy, and they win 7 of the remaining 8 games, and then they're just crushing everybody in the playoffs. So maybe they'll continue that high.
Yeah.
I don't know. I should ask Timmy, and you should ask Larry the Bear.
yeah, I should. But I'm going with Carolina.
All right, I'll go with Vegas.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, what else?
That's all I really got.
We got time for any bug and hammer?
Yeah, let me do it real quick.
Go ahead.
Mike, show this. So, ABS, automatic balls and strikes in Major League Baseball, right? This is what's bugging me.
Oh, you sent me this.
I sent you that. So the other night, the A's, they Soderstrome's up at the plate, and they call strike 3. So what you do, if you don't agree with the umpire, you tap your helmet. They go to instant replay. Look at this picture. They called a strike on that. They went to instant replay, and they still called it a strike. And you know, here's the strike zone, and the ball's down here.
The fix is in.
The fix is in. So it made me think a little deeper. I think we're going to get to the point in the future where they're going to alter video, because you can look at that and everybody was like up in arms saying, it's a ball, and you still called it a strike. You struck the guy out. You know, so I think in the future they're going to show that thing, and they're going to have like an image of a ball coming in, but it's not going to be a ball that was just pitched. It's going to be the ball they want to show that's a strike or a ball. I just think everything is so corrupt. It makes it watching sports almost impossible now. You can't trust anything. If they can't look at a box and see a ball outside of it and call it, overturn the call and call it a ball, plus it made the guy strike out. It was against the Yankees, so there you go.
So this, correct me if I'm wrong, and this goes to New York, and New York makes that decision.
Yes.
Right? And they didn't see that guy. I saw the picture you sent me. It was quite obvious that the box ended here and the ball was right here.
Yeah, and they call him strike 3.
Wow.
Yeah, so
well,
that would why have instant replay if you're not going to call it the way it should be called?
You know what? I'm gonna tag on to that. That would bug me too.
Yeah, I mean, so who's making the calls? Is it Vegas? Is it the casinos? Is it the sports books? I mean, what's going on here? So that's all I got.
Do they look at the spread before they?
I know. Well, you got to remember, you can bet on individuals. Like, someone could have been a lot of money bet on this guy getting a walk or something, or getting on base, and now he strikes out. So Vegas wins money.
I hate to think that way.
Yeah,
but
I think that way all the time.
Okay.
So that's all I got.
Okay. We have time for a Mike's Minute?
Fire it up.
Well, I have an awesome one for you, and pardon me for reading, but I want to get this straight, okay? This is a heartwarming story. It's called The Kid Who Refused to Sit on the Sidelines. Now, in a small Ohio town, a 17-year-old Joshua Johnson steps onto the basketball court every game with a confidence that lights up the gym. What most fans don't notice at first is that Josiah was born without legs. Joshua was born without legs. Instead of seeing barriers, Joshua saw possibilities. After being fitted with prosthetics as a young boy, he immediately wanted to play sports like his older brothers. He started with a wheelchair basketball, but quickly decided he wanted to compete, standing up with everyone else. Through relentless practice and sheer determination, he learned to move, jump, and pivot on his prosthetics with remarkable agility. His teammates talk about his work ethic being contagious. He outworks everyone, his coach said. When the practice gets hard and guys are complaining, they look over at Joshua and they realize they have no excuse. One of the most touching moments came during a big rivalry game, trailing by 1 point with seconds left. Joshua, he drained a three-pointer to win the game. Wow. The crowd erupted. His teams lifted him up in celebration. In the post-game interview, he had tears in his eyes, and he said, I just want people to see me as a basketball player first. The legs don't define me. My heart and hustle do. Off the court, Joshua is just as impressive. He mentors young kids with disabilities, telling them, if I can play without legs, you can do anything you set your mind to. He's also a straight-A student with dreams of playing college basketball and eventually becoming a motivational speaker and coach. And I'll end with this. Stories like his are why we love sports. They show us what's possible when someone decides their obstacles won't have the final word. Isn't that a great story?
That is the best Mike's Minute ever.
Man,
I'm not crying. You're crying. I mean, that one chokes you up a little.
It's really
that is amazing.
It really is. I mean, this guy he's got something. He really is.
That's something special.
Something special. Yeah.
Wow.
All
right.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing, Mike. Next week, well, actually tomorrow, I'm leaving for Seattle. And some people can say it's a fun trip and this and that, and it is. It's going to be a great time.
Yes.
I'm going out there for a wedding. But what they don't know while I'm out there, I'm going to be scouting those Seahawks. And I'm going to come back with a full report.
Okay.
And I'm going to drop it on Mike Vrabel's desk. And you know what? With what I'm going to find out, we're going to beat them in September.
See, it just goes to show you. We're talking about this guy right here. Just that's a good attitude, because before we got AJ Brown, we were doing the schedule. We were like, that's a loss.
That's a loss.
Now we're.
Now we get a shot at every game, really. That one player, as long as he doesn't get hurt,
That's
yeah,
right.
that has changed the whole outlook of the season in my eyes.
It has.
So there you go.
All right.
So we'll see you next week, and we'll talk about the Red Sox. Hopefully they fire the general manager by then, or win a few games, whatever comes first.
Go Theo.
The NBA and NHL will be 2 or 3 games in.
Yep.
And hopefully, nothing else crazy happens as far as cheating in sports.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
If you like it, give us a like, subscribe. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.